Hi, this is Jeff.
This is Jenna.
Welcome to Transform Your Talk. Today we are lucky, very lucky to have my good friend, uh, my brother in the men's group, Ilya Pavlenko, and he's going to tell his story today and introduce something new for the rest of you. So, Ilya, welcome.
Thank you, guys. Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me. It's such a pleasure and honor. It's my first podcast, so if you hear my voice is dribbling, it's because just I'm a little bit nervous. I never done it before, so it's my first time. So let's go.
All right, we're going to initiate you today.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So, Ilya, tell us a little bit about kind of what's brought you here today.
Well, a little bit of history. So I was born and raised in Russia. I moved to United States in 2001. It was a long journey to come here. Just I lived all around the country. I lived in Texas, Nevada, California, and 2.5 years I moved here in Michigan.
Hmm.
Uh, I found an interesting project. So my wife just saw me bored out of my mind, and she found me a job. So
Well, that was very nice of her.
yeah, because I was not going to find a job. I was just looking for the opportunity to do something else. But she found interesting project. I came, I got interviewed, and I got engaged with that project. So while I was moving to Michigan, I researched what kind of eye groups from MKP are available in the area, and I stumbled in the Lansing eye group where Jeff and I just sitting together for almost 2 years. So Jeff invited me to his podcast, and just here I am.
Uh-huh. And when we're together talking from our heart about men's work and how we've evolved. I mean, I've been doing men's work since 2000, so it's 24 years of that and therapy before that. So
And have you evolved?
I'm evolving. I'm
Ah,
getting to the golden, point.
It's a lifetime journey,
Oh,
guys.
yes.
that's for sure.
And Ilya and I have shared some good experiences from the male point of view. And I think you want to do more in that area, don't you?
I do. Just when I started doing the Mankind Project, I stumbled at it in 2016. Also, just interesting story. Somebody told me what I need to do some work. And I angrily responded, say, yeah, I know, just I need to do some work. If you know something specific, please share it with me. And the information was shared with me about MKP, about eye groups. I visited one of the eye groups, just went through all the initiation process, and I have been part of the MKP for the past 8.5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes. 8.5. So you're evolving.
Yep. I'm in the beginning. I'm
Yeah.
just a beginner.
And you're a new father?
Yes, I am. Just as a matter of fact, just today is a 6 months anniversary of my son being
Congratulations.
born.
Wow. And you look very well rested. I'm shocked.
Yeah, because just my wife is just taking care of the most of it. So,
Ah,
I'm
well,
trying
thank
to,
you to her. Good job, Mama.
yep. Thank you to my wife.
Yeah.
And what we're what do you want to talk about today, I guess?
Well, we can talk about anything, but in particular, I would like to talk about what transpired for me in MKP and all the work I have done.
Mm-hmm.
So in MKP, just I become acutely aware about my victim story and how it's prevail my life and how it dictate my life in so many ways. And when I become familiar with my victim, in my victim story, I start unfolding and dissecting how I arrived to that story. And it's led to a lot of discovery and openings for myself, how that story and those beliefs uh, make me stumble and fall and block me from reaching my full potential. And through the processes, what we uh, work on in the Mankind Project, it's led to the vulnerability So I start applying more and more that vulnerability in my regular life, in my regular relationships, in my professional life. And I transform that story to the story of the hero. So it become I haven't got rid of my victim story, but on top of that story, I created another story, what also real, a story of the hero who just going through his challenges and come up victorious in his with these challenges.
So you've taken this journey or are still on this journey of the victim. So
Mhm.
many of us have our victim stories where we started, the things we feel victimized by. And then you've taken that to learning about vulnerability and what accepting that vulnerability, talking about it, unpacking it has brought you all the way to the place of I can be my own victor and achieve victory. Whoa, that only took 8 years. Oh my gosh.
It seems like a quick journey, but yeah, it's miraculous how it just can happen in such a short period of time, especially if you considering just I was living in my victim story for 39 years before that.
What does that mean, living in your victim story?
So the way I see it, just I'm only going to share my own experience. So I'm not a guru, just I haven't written any book yet. So when I get to this, you would know. But the victim story, it's a story of the child. Because when child is born, is very vulnerable. It's at the mercy of his or her parents. So he's not capable of and doesn't have a full autonomy yet. So that story usually comes from the childhood and your experience of the childhood from very limiting and very primitive uh, life view of a child.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if your parents argue around you, or they scream at you, or they throw a lot of criticism at you, or something very traumatic physically or emotionally happened, the child digested from the mindset of the child. And a lot of times the child, that victim, all the negative experience like it happened to them. They were not in control. And that would affect them in their future when they trying to grow up and look at the world, but they always see that old story of things what happened to them and crippled them, and they no longer capable of being that pure, wholesome, healed individuals. Those wounds are still opened.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, including me, just, again, it's my experience. I look at those stories and limit myself because I believed that just something inherently happened to me and I cannot no longer change it. And this is how I am. And this is it.
Well, you all also, we also understand when we work that victim story is created a persona that had to deal with that as a child. So we came up with skills and techniques and defense mechanisms and all of that to get through that, to survive whatever that wound or that trauma or that victimization is. And those things we also carry forward, and they become patterns in our lives. And sometimes those patterns are obstructive. And that's when we start the learning, when we go ahead.
Well, it just made me think that is when we start the learning, when we're willing to do the learning.
Right.
I think so often people, like you said, examine their victim story, say, this is who I am, this is how I was raised, this is what I'm supposed to believe, how I'm supposed to conduct myself. And they use it as a crutch, something to lean on and say, well, I'm this way because of this thing happening. Where you've taken another step and said, okay, I'm this way because these things happened, but I don't want to be that way anymore. I want to be me and be different and figure out what's going to make me feel better. And for me to not argue in front of my child or yell or figure out different aspects of me. So it's really awesome that then you can take that to a place of, I'm going to do some work and discover the vulnerability piece.
Well, how do you become vulnerable? When do you think you started being vulnerable enough to start looking at this from a different point of view?
So I would like to take it back before even just, starting your journey. You kind of need to realize what you wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So that mask was put on you by yourself and by others by just living in this society. My parents grew up just where they grew up, and just they experienced their life and their own childhood trauma. So they had a certain set of beliefs of what it is to be a man, or what is it to be a father, or what is it to be a son, what make you successful professionally. So for the longest time, while I was aware about my trauma, but not aware what to do with this, because I was not capable to connecting to myself and to my body.
Mm-hmm.
This is an important aspect of connecting to your body, and I tell you why. Because we humans, we basically are naked monkeys. In the animal kingdom, we are very vulnerable. So in the physical aspect, any animal can just destroy us. But what we got, we have our intelligence. It's our curse and our gift at the same time. It's a gift because we capable of think through and come up with some solutions, but at the same time, it's very powerful tool when it's not fully wired well. It just gives us a lot of grief and suffering. So the first thing was realizing what I'm wearing the mask. It was re-examination of all my lessons and all my ideas, what it is to be man, what it is to be me. And in that process, I realized what a lot of things, what I believe, what would make me happy or would make me successful, it's not really me. It's something what I learned from other people. And you're taking it layer by layer and examine each of your idea and saying, is it me? Is it really make me happy? Is it really make me fulfill? Yes or no? And it's hard to do it when you're wearing this mask. Sometimes you need to take this mask, put it down, and really look of who you are. For that, you need the vulnerability of dropping this mask, because that mask also serve you in the process to protect you and create the persona where you can hide, but you're not you. So the Mankind Project provide me with this opportunity when I can come in every week for 2.5 hours. I can take this mask down and just be me and speak my mind and learn the language and actually start learning of who I am, and connect to my body, connect to my gut feeling, which is a true gift to any human being, because deep inside of us, when we connected to our guts, we know exactly who we are.
And when you do that type of work, that gut work, the vulnerability work, what does that do to the outside world that you see after doing that kind of work? Does it change anything? Your relationships with people, your willingness to try new things, take new risks in your life? Does it change anything?
Honestly, it doesn't change the outside world. The outside world stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the people I'm having a relationship, they stay the same, because their work is their work. They don't see you differently. They don't suddenly change and say, oh my God, you so enlightened. Now just I gotta do the same thing. No, they just continue to live in their life, believe in their beliefs, and just conduct their communication the way they conduct. So the work, what you do, it's about yourself. It's about your self-perception and how just connecting to you and control or be aware about how you react to the world outside.
I see. Interesting.
So really isn't about you or them, I should say. It's all about you. And as you evolve, your vulnerability shows, I think people trust you more, don't they? Have you found that? You say the outside world doesn't change, but you're changing. You're becoming who you were meant to be without the story, without the victim.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I mean it in the context of for example, if you used to say, get really angry at people if things didn't go your way at work, but now you've done enough work to understand and connected with yourself enough to know that that's not how you need to react to things or how you should react to things and how you feel when you do your interactions with the outside world change as you become more vulnerable and as you do your work and the awareness you have with them and those interactions?
Absolutely. So again, just do people start trusting me more? Do I know that?
Hard
I
to
cannot
answer
say.
that. Yeah.
I cannot answer these questions because that's their feelings, and just people wearing their own masks, and I have no idea if they trust me more or less. What I can do now, I can trust myself more. When I was not fully aware about my gut feeling, I couldn't just really connect to it, and just I was not be able to trust myself. Now, when I'm just more connected through several practices, what I'm just doing, and I can talk about this later, I can trust myself more. So whatever coming out of me, whatever feeling coming, just lives in me, I can trust it, and I can have a peaceful communication, regardless if it's positive feeling or is it negative feeling. I can sit down and just be present and understand where it's coming from and how it serves me. So I can conduct myself better. I can deal with people better. I can be more compassionate to them. I can see where they coming from because I've been there. And I can be in the places where I was not able to do that, and I would react negatively. I can stay present and I can react kindly, and I can create space for them to rediscover the situation or their own feelings.
That's a very powerful feeling.
And when you do that, I mean, you've told me offline, not on this podcast, that you're able to connect with people in a way that you weren't before, that they warm, I don't know if it warm up to you is the right way, but they open up more. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Just so what's happened when I become fully aware about myself. So when I come and present myself to other people, I'm fully focused on them. So I can put my feelings aside. I'm still aware about them. I can feel how I react to this feeling, but my main focus is that person. It's very intoxicating because it's a lot of power within you. You can see how you can move a person with just simple question. So it's need to be done very consensually. So just you got to make sure people understand what's happening to them, because I can just come and meet a stranger on the street and start asking them questions, and they start crying and seeing a Jesus. But
Well,
it can be very dangerous at the same time.
when I say it's powerful, it's because you have learned and understand the importance of holding space for another person, and it can catch them off guard. And they may not be used to another person. Even I've noticed saying something like, "How are you today? You look great." I've had people go, "What?" Like they're not used to that. So you're right. It does have to be this kind of I need you to be aware. I'm gonna move the earth real quick while I talk to you. I mean, you almost got to get that consent form signed, because that power can be life-changing. And it's amazing you're feeling that as you are unraveling these vulnerabilities.
It is risky business because in our group, we all have an understanding of that. And it's easy. It's easy, easier than it is outside.
Yes.
Because you can't walk up to somebody on the street and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm really thinking about you. I'm in touch with myself. So just give me everything. Give me your victim story."
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I know what it is already.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little tricky.
I would imagine. So unfurling that vulnerability, you've established that you have this power now to hold space for others, that one-on-one focused on them space. And that's something that I've noticed has been lost in our society and in a lot of our relationships. So when people feel that, it does kind of suck them in. It's kind of magical.
Mhm.
What have you done with that power?
What I have done with my power? Well, first of all, just again, in Mankind Project, we have one of the process when you come up with your mission. And it took me a while to find my mission. Uh, why was it hard? Because, first of all, I didn't know who I am. I didn't know what kind of animal I am and what is my power. The moment I realized my power and my spiritual animal, I understood what just I'm built for something big.
Mhm.
So a few things happen in my life, just some unfortunate events happen in my life, but somehow just miraculously I walked through untouched. And it made me wonder like why other people just disappeared, things happened, and I am still here. I'm still moving, just I'm still fully intact. I'm in the right mindset. So if I'm a powerful animal and I'm still alive, it means I have a mission. So I need to find this mission. And my mission basically, I'm building and I'm leading a community of healing and growing people. So everybody in that community can heal, grow, and mature and just find their own purpose.
That's a big, big, big mission, and I honor it. And a big responsibility, taking care of all those people, helping them understand the importance of safety in those places.
Well, the mission is supposed to be so big you can't achieve it in your own lifetime. So there you
Ah,
go.
so a mission that transcends you.
And transcending. And I know from my relationship with you that you practice yoga. That's one of the fulfillments of your mission. I think you do that there. Is that true?
Yoga is my second religion. Just my first religion growing up was soccer, football. It's my sport. I inherited from my dad, who was a professional soccer player. So I see that game as the art, as a music. And because I played this sport competitively for the longest time, just it did a toll on my body. So by the age of 35, I was not really able to do as much as I could when I was a young kid. So I was looking for some kind of healing, something rehabilitation, and I stumbled into yoga. I walked, I don't remember, just like in 24-hour fitness. And then just I found Bikram yoga, which is just I have a judgment about this branch of yoga, but I'm not going to just tell anybody not to do that because it brought me here.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter how you're going to start if you're going to take classes online on. But long story short, I got immersed into yoga, and it helped me to start my process of connecting to my body, finding a balance. And after reading book Body Keep Its Score, I become more and more conscious what my emotional trauma, the way it's landed, it's rooted in my body and it's manifested in the physical disability or physical pain. So when I made this connection, when I come to the yoga class, I'm not walking necessarily, I walk directly with the physical pain, but I know what I'm trying to resolve. I'm resolving my emotional pain, was just sitting in my body, and it just trigger the physical pain. It's manifest as a physical pain, and it's very successful. For example, yesterday, just I was in a lot of pain, and I went to yoga class, and I just focused on the things what just was bothering me, and I breathe it through and just found the poses and try to let it go and focus on that and trying to have a dialogue. It's constantly inside dialogue between that pain and me, where we find the resolution together, because I cannot get rid of my feelings. I cannot get rid of my trauma. I cannot get rid of my victim story, but I can re-examine it, keep the space for that to exist, but at the same time, open the space for the different story, for the hero one.
Beautiful.
I like that you can open the space up to allow yourself to be vulnerable, but to take in the gifts that come with that vulnerability and start walking the path towards your victory, your victory, your hero story. That's wonderful.
And so you have an announcement of sorts today, don't you?
I do.
Would you care to share it with our listeners?
Well, I can share. So I decide what I'm ready just to go online and share my message with a lot of people. I don't think I'm just smart enough and just I would have too much information to share, but I want to create that space. So I want to just follow my mission. I want to create a space for people come so we can have a dialogue about our personal journey. I can share about my journey, but I think there are a lot of incredible people who done it in many different ways and just arrived to the same conclusion. So I'm opening my podcast. It's going to call Ilya or I Love You Always, this acronym of my name. And so it's going to be place of growth, maturity, and healing.
Ooh, so does that mean you'll invite me on your podcast?
Absolutely, if you
Yes.
want to.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. I look forward to finding it. Is it on YouTube, Apple Music? Where do I find it?
Right now, just, I created a framework for that on YouTube, but
Okay.
I probably, with your help, guys, just I can start recording it and putting on the Spotify or Apple Music.
Apple, yeah.
Okay.
Different platforms. So yeah, we're looking forward to that and helping you launch that. Do as much as we can to support you.
Absolutely. And it's awesome to hear that you've got a mission that's so much about helping others, honoring them in their spaces, meeting them there, and trying to help heal. I honor you for that. What a fantastic mission. I have a question. You've been doing work for a long time. Jeff, you're like a senior citizen and doing work. You've been doing it forever too. Have
Don't
you ever
listen to her. She called you old.
What the heck?
Have you guys ever heard anybody that has the exact same victim story as somebody else, or are they always a little different?
Well, we have a saying, and I think it's true whether it's men or women. If one man or perhaps one woman does work, we all do work. So there's a little bit of the story in every person, I think, every human similar. Our parents weren't perfect. They lived in different times. They had different expectations. There were different economic forces and barriers. And we evolve, and well, maybe we don't evolve. I don't know. We don't. I didn't want to repeat my victim story to my children, and I hope I didn't. If they're listening, kids, don't call in to say otherwise.
Well, what I'm getting at is, you're going to be working with so many different people from so many different walks of life, and their stories may sound similar, but I bet every victim story is different in certain ways, or it's affected them in different ways, or it's projecting itself in different ways. And if it's not, maybe you guys will all find enough similarities to help each other.
Well, I'm sorry, I let you finish this, but I just want to say the stories may be different or similar, but what we equate with, what we hear, what we perceive, what we believe, that's all different. Every man, I mean, two men may say the same story and then have different takes on the whole thing and take different mechanisms or defense mechanisms or away from all that. I've seen all kinds of stuff and I've heard all kinds of stuff, and I've seen trauma from a boy and his dad playing catch in the backyard as significant as a very physical abusive relationship from another man. So I don't make judgments about that. I don't think you can, but go ahead and answer that, Ilya.
Well, I got two examples. The first example about the stories. A lot of people just when we come up with the trauma and tell me their story, I cannot judge how severe the trauma is. And I give an example of two twin sons, two twin boys driving in a car in the passenger seat. and the car got in a car accident. And one of the boys broke a leg, and another boy just broke his neck. So both of them fortunately recovered, and the leg healed, and the guy just with a broken neck just become quadriplegic, but learned how to drive a wheelchair. The quadriplegic kid just went to school, finished school, just went to the university, got graduate degree, become nuclear engineer, and just came up with the new nuclear reactor idea and just having a fulfilling life. The kid who just broke the leg got terrified by what happened to him, never learned how to drive, never finished the school, just got depressed, and at the age 25 commit suicide.
Wow.
So the question is, the severity of the trauma cannot be decided by the physical facts of what actually happened. It cannot be decided by the data. The severity of trauma it's how that situation landed in that person and what story that person create within themselves.
Right.
So that to be said, so everybody got a different story.
And it affects them differently.
Yeah. All you got to find is the wound.
That's
the
right.
wound is still the same. It has a wound, and it's all supported by that story. That wound doesn't heal because the story still exists, and it's just the biggest part of their psyche. So the goal of any transformation is to become aware about that trauma, that story, and recognize that wound. So then you can create a dialogue about that story and how to reframe that story. Because truth to be said, all my victim story was so horrific in my head and so just cannot be healed. When I'm looking at them and I'm look at my wound, I just realize that the wound is actually opening to my gold. And this is where my gold coming from. The moment I heal the wound, it just become my superpower, so to speak.
Right. Makes sense.
Beautiful.
Absolutely awesome.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, but I look forward to hearing Ilya, I Love You Always, on YouTube or wherever it lands in the near future.
Absolutely.
And thank you for coming today and sharing your very thoughtful words.
Thanks
you
for
guys.
coming. Yep.
Thank you for inviting me.
Peace out, kids. Till next time.
Until next time.